I'm Scott Jordan, founder and CEO of SCOTTeVEST, and this is a continuation of our interviews of all the management team and employees that work with us here at SCOTTeVEST. And so a little bit different than the others. This is the chairman of our board of advisors. I'm standing here with Hap Klopp, who is the founder of the North Face, and we're recording from the base of River Run, which is quite suitable. After all, North Face has made a number of ski jackets along the way, and Hap is a world-class skier. Can I say that?
Well, there's argument there.
So Hap, I've just got a few questions for you. Do you see any parallels between where SCOTTeVEST is in its evolution to where North Face was when you started it back when?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing which we did and we were really proud of was the fact that we knew our end consumer when we started out. And frankly, all the VCs in the world and everybody said we're crazy. I mean, you know, they don't have any money, they aren't going to spend on all those things. And I always said if I could make the best product, there'd be a market for it. And the best product was defined by who the customer was, because I knew what they wanted. And not just when I say I, it was our team. Initially we had 14 people, and 3 were kind of in the design of it. When you look at SCOTTeVEST, it's the same thing. It isn't like, can I make another jacket? Oh my gosh, how do I do it? But what do our customers need? And you interact with them. Now you have all the social media input, which we didn't have. So what we did was live in Berkeley, where a lot of people went camping, skiing, hiking, and we were able to read that. So that's the parallel. And of course, the excitement of a company that's really growing fast, it's palpable. You can feel it at SCOTTeVEST, and you could always feel it at North Face.
Well, that's a good answer. I feel that as well. And getting to know and knowing what our customers need has helped us, grow, and it's made it more fun at the same time.
I would think so.
You've had a lot of SCOTTeVEST products. You've seen them evolve. Do you have a favorite particular product and a favorite feature? What do you like best about SCOTTeVEST products?
Well, I have so many, it'd be hard to say what my favorite is. I particularly like all the pockets, and the reason I like all the pockets is I just carry stuff. And I don't even know why, and probably SCOTTeVEST has added to my addiction to carry stuff because I can now do it. But it's nice to be able to have place for phone and glasses and keys and pocket and cash and all of those things. And of course I like the magnetic pockets. I mean, they close, and I really don't like losing things, of course, like most people. But having all the pockets, sometimes it's crazy. I mean, I'd be willing to bet that in many of my products I've not used every pocket ever. But that's a feature that I think is really pretty remarkable.
And it's funny because that's the one that it seems so simplistic, but so much thought goes into the design of every pocket. It's not just sewing on a pocket for us. It's making sure it's supported, it doesn't rub against you uncomfortably, and we're coming up with new areas and places to put pockets even now. How did a point on that? I mean, I've been involved in the design and construction of clothing for a long time. 40 years, to be really honest. I have a great appreciation for how difficult it is to, one, put pockets in. If you think about it, every size requires a different configuration of pockets. Most people look at it and say, okay, well, just put 20 more pockets on. Doesn't work. Everything's inside, layered, how it works by size, also what it does to the weight management, so you don't feel like you're tipping over, or it's bulky, or it doesn't rub, or is uncomfortable. It's really remarkable. And, I just have this great admiration for your teams being able to put it together and figure that out. And, that's sort of a in the industry appreciation, but it's remarkable. You almost have to be in the industry to really understand what goes into it, because there are certain dimensions on a pocket that need to remain constant through all sizes, and others that are variable. And most clothing companies are not set up to even consider that, much less designers. So we really have taken a completely different approach.
Yeah.
Tell us how we met.
How we met was, I was at a trade show, and I work with a company called Magellan's. I have a small investment in it, and they sell travel goods online, but primarily on a catalog. And they were carrying a line called SCOTTeVEST. And so, I'm one of those guys that I go, okay, well, I got to figure out, what this is all about. So, rather than just ask the people at Magellan's, I was at the trade show. It was outdoor retailer, if I recall.
That's right.
And so I saw that SCOTTeVEST was there, so I just came over and started asking questions and peppering you, and
I didn't know who he was until I said, what's your relation? And think you looked at me and you said, I founded a little company called the North Face, and from there I made sure that I got all the input, and we become
friends,
great friends, and a great advisor. So at SCOTTeVEST we have a slogan for the trip of your life, and it means a lot of things. In terms of the clothing, it stands for whether you're going to China or going to the grocery store, use SCOTTeVEST. In terms of my life and my life story, the inspiration of forming a company like SCOTTeVEST, getting an opportunity to meet people like you and living in a place like this. So tell me a little bit about the trip of your life and what it means to you.
Well, it means all those things, but the first thing when you say it, I think about all the exotic places I've had the pleasure of traveling, whether it was rafting the Zambezi or being in Africa with all the animals, or Machu Picchu and hiking up there and things like that. Had the opportunity to take my family with me when we did it. That was quite a kick. Business is a trip for me. The growth of something, seeing it evolve, change, seeing the people that I work with grow. I mean, 11 of the people who worked with me at North Face ended up running companies in the outdoor industry, and I feel particularly proud of that, and actually feel like what they learned by working with me was valuable enough to help them with where they were. So that was a trip that I enjoyed. And then the other one is just the humorous trip. I mean, life isn't worth living if you aren't laughing, and that's the trip. And being around people who are high energy.
You might have just answered the last question I have, and that is, what inspires you? What drives you? Obviously, you've achieved a lot in your life, and yet you wake up with the same drive that I imagine you did when you were much younger.
Yeah, that probably isn't my best asset, but it is the case. Innovation, inspiration, people. I constantly puzzle the question, who leads the leader? And I've been a leader a long time, and I think the answer is the people who follow you, who inspire you. When I say follow, it doesn't mean necessarily that they just in your wake, but they gather around you and help you go, and you feed off of them. It's almost like a jazz riff, and you're playing your guitar, and you play, and somebody else plays, and you play more and you play better because you interact with them. And so I constantly try to put myself in situations and around people who are interested, excited, and really want to do something. And I really personally try to avoid the people who have all the problems in the world and naysay. It drags me down, and maybe I could help them some, but that doesn't inspire me. But if I meet somebody new and they're about changing the world as I'm about changing the world, as much hubris as that sounds, I am trying to do that. And and so I wake up every day thinking, boy, there's a need, and yeah, I'm going to do it. And today I'm going to meet somebody who's going to help me in that quest.
I want to thank you, because you've been a mentor to me, and I haven't had many mentors in my life, and I mean that very sincerely. And it's interesting hearing you express what you just said about what inspires you. I've always wondered, as we started our relationship out, because it wasn't financial originally, and you were just helpful as an advisor. I would send you emails, and they would be, you'd reply back within moments with great advice, and I always wonder why are you taking all your time? And now I'm finally in a position where as SCOTTeVEST grows, that we have a lot of young individuals, including the videographer who's taking this right now, John and Liz and Tom, and I get to watch these young people get better, and I feed off of their success, and it's fabulous. And this is the trip of my personal life, and I hope that everyone has an opportunity to find their own trip, and whether it be in business or in your personal life or family or whatnot. So this is an interesting twist on our interviews. I want to thank you for your involvement, and thank you for taking the time. Hap.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So I think we're out of here. Shall we walk towards the camera?
No more gadget dance when you leave. Take your iPhone, iPad, even your keys.